Hello everybody and welcome back to Herbies Garage. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I had a subscriber write to me and ask me about how do you shift a motorcycle. You know, for a brand new rider who buys a brand new bike or even a used bike, they're not familiar with, how do you shift it, when do you shift it, when do you not shift it, and things like that. And he asked me if I would do a video on it. And I thought, well, today's a beautiful day. It's probably 70 degrees today so far. It's probably going to get a little bit warmer. It's nice out. So I thought I'd go ahead and do this video today. It may not be interesting to you longtime riders, or maybe it is. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to be taking my Lifan KPM 200 you see back there in the background. And we're going to be discussing a few things. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll pick back up with my GoPro.
All right, first thing we'll do is we'll discuss the motorcycle I'll be riding. This is a 2024 Lifan KPM 200. If you're unfamiliar with Lifan, it's a Chinese brand motorcycle, but it's a high quality motorcycle. And this is a single cylinder, liquid cooled, 6-speed transmission, electronically fuel injected, and it's a good running bike. They only cost like $28.99 brand new, shipped to your house. Venom Motorsports sells these where I got mine from, and I have a little bit of extras on it, but it doesn't come with this tail box. I changed the full exhaust on it, I wrapped it, and I've done a few little things, cup holder, and I got cameras on it, windshield, just different things, but you get the idea of what I'm riding anyway. So the first thing as a brand new rider, you need to know that you need to wear your protective equipment. As you can see, I have my helmet on, I've got a riding jacket that's got body armor in it, I've got gloves, and I've got riding boots. Now one of these days I'm going to get riding pants. I'm just wearing jeans today, but I'm going to get some riding pants to wear. It's very important to be protected just in case. So we'll go ahead and take off. And one of the first things that you need to do as a new rider is you need to establish clutch control. Before you get out on the road, you need to know where your clutch lets out, where it starts to grab, and things like that. So first thing you need to do is pull your clutch in, shift down for first gear, depending on what bike you're riding. Everything I'm going to mention is going to be on this bike. So now that you got it in first gear, just slowly let your clutch out. You can feel it start to engage. That's going to be important, because when you're riding, you need to make sure that when you start slowing down, you have your clutch pulled in far enough to where you're going to be completely disengaged in your transmission. So kind of practice that. You can let it idle and just let it come out to where you start to feel it engage and pull it back in. Just keep doing that. Once you feel comfortable, you know where it starts to engage at, then you can try a little bit more skill. Come over here on the right side and have your hand ready on the brake. Give it just a little bit of gas, just a little bit, and then let it out slowly until you start to move. Then you can stop with your front brake, keep your feet on the ground, and just slowly let it out again. Stop with your front brake, slowly let it out. Stop with your front brake, and just keep doing that until you find where it engages the transmission and starts to roll. And when you're completely going fast enough to where you can let the clutch all the way out, then you pull it back in. Just do those drills over and over till you got clutch control. So now we'll go to the point of the video. The guy was wanting to know when do you shift and things like that. So we're going to discuss RPM. This is your RPMs, revolutions per minute of your engine. Now there's some things you need to know about shifting. One is that whenever you shift, you have synchronizers in your transmission that aids in the shifting process. And if those synchronizers aren't turning, you're not going to be able to aid in the shift of it. So I'll show you when we shift and when we downshift what's the best way to get the most out of your shift, to make a more complete shift and not have any issues. So let's go ahead and take off. I'm going to do all my riding in town so I can shift more. I try to shift between 5,000 and 6,000 RPM on this bike. Sometimes you can let it get up a little bit higher, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to bog it down. Okay, we'll cross the highway. Let's see, I'm going up to 6,500, almost 7,000 before I shift. See, what you don't want to do is say, I'm in third right now, and then I want to shift to fourth. Now I'm going to be in fifth. Now I'm lugging the engine. You see, I'm doing 3,500 RPM. I'm just lugging the engine. You don't want that. You want to keep it up higher in the RPM range. If you have to go slow like you are here in the city, try to keep it above 4,000 RPM. I'm doing, it's a 25 mile an hour speed limit, so let's do 25. There it is right there. And I'm doing a little under 5,000 RPM. Now the best way to shift is to have the RPM up and then shift then. That way your synchronizers are turning and it will go in a lot easier for you. Another thing to consider would be downshifting. I'm going to be coming up to a stop sign and I want to show you something. Now I'm in third gear and I'm coming to the stop sign. So I'm going to pull the clutch in. I'm going to rev it up a little bit and then drop it to second. I'll let the clutch out to slow down with my brake. I'll come up here, I'll rev it up a little bit more, and I'll drop it into first. See, when you rev it up like that, even though your clutch is pulled in, it's going to make your synchronizers turn faster, and it'll make it go into gear easier. Now, the shifting pattern and things that I'm going to show you is just for basic riding. Now, there are going to be times you're going to have to go faster and you're going to have to get over 7,000 RPM and things like that. So this is just going to kind of be a basic instruction. So now I'm in fourth gear. I'm doing over 4,000 RPM. I'm coming to a stop. Now I'm not paying attention. I'm just kind of looking around and enjoying the day. I come to the stop. I forgot to downshift. I'm in fourth gear. What do? You take off in fourth? No way. Do you try to downshift all the way into first from here? No. Downshift to third, let your clutch out a little bit. Downshift to second, let your clutch out a little bit. Downshift to first, let your clutch out a little bit. That way it'll engage each gear. If you sit there and just kind of mash it down, keep mashing it down, you may be in between gears and you're going to have a problem with it like that. So just try to keep your tachometer, your RPMs between 4,000 and 7,000 RPM when you shift. You're better off when you go to the next gear. Like right now I'm in fourth gear. I don't need to shift into fifth gear. I'm only doing less than 6,000 RPM and it feels good. See, you'll get used to the sound of the engine of when to shift. That's just a matter of time. You're only going to be looking at your speedometer at the RPMs probably for a little while until you get familiar with the bike. Once you start getting familiar, you can listen to the sound of the engine and know when to shift. You don't have to keep looking at the RPM, the tachometer. And whenever you come to a stop or come to a turn, I'll show you right up here. You want to turn your turn signal on, of course. Pull your clutch in and coast. Now, rev it up a little bit, downshift. Rev it up a little bit, downshift. Rev it up a little bit, and downshift. That helps it go into gear so much easier. And what you want to make sure of is you're downshifting as you come rolling to a stop, and now you're in first gear. You can stop and you don't have to worry about messing with the gear shifter. You have to try to practice doing that to where you're downshifting on your way to the stop. I'll show you as I go to this next one. As soon as this truck passes by, I'll try to get it in third gear real quick. Okay, there's third gear. I'm coming to a stop. I rev it up, I drop it to second. I rev it up, I drop it to first. And I'm keeping my clutch pulled in the whole time. So now I'm in first gear, and it went into gear very easily. The whole point of shifting is you want to try to stay in the power band as much as possible. You don't want to lug the engine. Lugging the engine is going to reduce your power. It's going to cause carbon in your engine, and it's just not going to be good for your transmission or anything else. So you got to learn to keep the RPMs up into the power range. 4,000 to 7,000 on this bike is pretty average. Now you could get it up higher. This one has a red line of 9,000 RPM, and you can take it to 9,000. And if you wanted to go a little bit faster, I would go past 7,000 before I shift. Watch. There's 9,000 RPM, 8,000 RPM. Okay, now I'm in sixth gear. Now see, I'm in top gear, and I want to keep it at 55 miles per hour. I don't want to go too fast. So I'm doing fine just now. But say that the speed dropped down to 45. So I'm going to drop my gear down to fifth gear. That's going to keep me in the power range, but I can maintain 45 miles an hour. But say now I hit a 30 mile an hour speed zone. Okay, so I'm going to slow down. I'm going to rev it up, drop it into fourth gear, rev it up, drop it into third gear. Now I can maintain 30 miles per hour at about 6,000 RPM. What's really good, if you were in an abandoned parking lot like this, whenever you were just starting out, you could practice shifting in a parking lot, because you could upshift and downshift. You hear the way that I rev the engine up before I dropped it down into gear? Now I'm down into first, second, third. Okay, I'm going to slow down. Rev the engine up, put it in second. Rev the engine up, put it in first. Alright. First, second, third. I'm going to slow down. Rev it up, put it into second. Rev it up, put it into first. And you want to be careful not to drop it into first too soon. Okay, I'm going to show you that. Okay, let's see how far you can go in first gear at 7,000 RPM. Okay, I'm in first gear. 7,000 RPM is about 15 miles per hour. So if you're downshifting, coming to a stop, you want to make sure that you're below 15 mile per hour before you hit first. I'll show you. First, second, third. Okay, I'm coming to a stop. Raise the RPM. Now I'm in the second. Now I'm below 15. So at 10 mile per hour, I shifted down into first. Those are things that you just need to practice before you actually get out on the road. Clutch control, throttle control, brake control, all of that stuff is so very important. So just take your time, get used to your machine, get used to the feel of it. You'll get used to the engine RPM of the sound of it, because you don't really want to be taking your eyes off the road to watch your RPM gauge. It's best to do this in a parking lot I was doing this for demonstration purposes. I'm an experienced rider. I've been riding for about 55 years, so I've had a lot of experience. But anyway, you don't want to take your eyes off the road, especially in today's time. You gotta watch all the cars around you, dogs coming out, animals, all kinds of things. So you really need to practice in a parking lot. Keep an eye on your RPMs, and then once you get down what the engine sounds like, then you don't really need to follow the RPMs on your tachometer as much. You can do it all by sound, by sound, and you will get used to it, believe me.
All right, hopefully that was interesting to you. Riding motorcycles is no different than any new thing that you do. Sometimes it takes a little bit of practice. And I think this is something that is very important as far as riding. You need to know so much about your bike. You need to know clutch control. You need to know throttle control, brake control, where your engine RPM range is, where your power range is at. Now, I rode my Lifan KPM 200 over there, and it's got different characteristics than some of my other bikes. The RPM range is going to be different. I mean, I have a Honda Goldwing, and it's completely different. A Honda Shadow, a couple of Lifan bikes, they're all different. But the basic philosophy of shifting is going to be true with all of the bikes. Just got to take your time, get used to the bike, get used to the shifting, and it's not going to be a problem, really. I mean, it just takes practice. And like I say, parking lots, abandoned parking lots especially, if you don't have an abandoned parking lot, go on a day where there's not many people there, or a time of day when there's not very many people there. I used to, many years ago, used to take my daughter whenever she wanted to learn how to drive a stick shift car. I took her to a parking lot in the evening where everybody was gone, and it was open, or in a church parking lot. A lot of times those are big and have enough room to maneuver, and that's a good place to do something. It's got to get the approval. You don't want to do something that they don't want you to do, but make sure that it's okay to do. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you coming along and watching. If you get you a new motorcycle and you want to do some riding, and I wish you the best. I know it's going to go well for you, and you're going to enjoy it, believe me. I've enjoyed it now for 55 years. So anyway, that's all I had for you today. Appreciate you coming along and watching, and I'll see you on the next one.